Right, back tonight. Stellenbosch University is saying it's still studying an independent report into racism at the Western Cape institution. The report was compiled by retired Constitutional Court Justice Sisi Khampepe. Work on the report formally started mid-June after the university requested an external independent inquiry into alleged racism and discrimination. Joining us now for his reactions, Sifiso Zungu, a Stellenbosch University student and SASCO Western Cape Chairperson. Sifiso, good evening and thank you very much for your time. So, two incidents that happened in May, one of them, of course, being the first-year student who urinated on another, being quite a prominent one that, of course, led to this investigation being started. But hearing from SASCO, of course, after that incident was that would not have been the first incident of racism at the institution. Are you surprised to hear this finding from the report that says the university made impressive theoretical strides towards transformation, but that the system simply was not translating adequately?
Good evening, my brother. Thank you for having us. I think the starting point for me is to just say that we're not shocked, we're not surprised, But what the commission has done for us is to say the voices of black students for many years they've been protesting. We're coming from a time of open Stellenbosch, where some of the issues that are within the report, they were raised at that time. So clearly, the university has never valued our voices as black students in this university. So this is a confirmation to us as students to say that actually there is nothing new uncovered within the commission itself. It's something that we've been raising. Unfortunately, the university was not willing to hear our voices. And so now we believe that because Justice Khampepe is at their level, surely they will respect her and try to change some of the things that are within the report itself.
So how do we approach then issues like that have been raised in this report in the view of SASCO in terms of rectifying them, the history of the university and the symbolic meaning that it has acquired to certain member of the white Afrikaans community?
Yeah, I think for us as a student movement, the starting point to that is to just remind the university and white people in general that actually Stellenbosch is not an island. Stellenbosch is part of South Africa. So those are part of the things that we need to do. And for us to make sure that as much as the university usually seeks to sideline students in participating in certain things, we need to enforce that to say, university want to be or we want to partake in everything that is going to happen. That is speaking about transforming this university, because we understand that even the commission itself, it was not the idea of the university that came in the morning and said, we're establishing. It was students themselves. Students said, there is no way that there are issues about us as students and without us. And we're saying to the university, we want you to establish a commission of inquiry that is going to investigate some of our claims that we're submitting to you, that you are failing to listen to them. So for us is to just enforce and try, and because this report comes in the midst of exams, so I do not really think that many students have paid much attention to it. But of course, as much as we've done with our exams, part of the student movement is to go in deep details of the report and try to check these recommendations that we push the university, that we want to see some of the things by the end of March that are happening in this university. Because there are many issues that we've been raising, especially when it comes to the culture. It's not new. Stellenbosch was never designed for black people. That thing is already there. We know it. But how then do we find ourselves in 2022 that we're still trying to criticize the university to say, look, can you change some of the things that you are doing, But for the role of the student movement is just to make sure that we inspire students to say that as much as the report has come out, let's not shy away from it. It is our demand that we wanted this report. Now it's here. Let's read it. Let's push the university to implement certain things that are coming there. Because we believe that is the voice that is coming from Justice Khampepe, but we are sure that the university will work closely with us.
Yeah. The question of lack of accountability, we have seen, for example, in the two instances that I have mentioned, some kind of outcome that has been reached as far as holding that particular student accountable. But it has not filtered well to the rest of the student community, especially the black student community, in terms of whether the sanctions go far enough.
No, this is simply because it's not only two accidents that have happened when we are speaking about urinating. as a resident, it happened, and the recent one in Iendraf, it happened. So clearly, the expulsion of Tina Stigot didn't leave any message to any white student, because we do not understand what kind of an alcohol that is being drank by white students, that whenever they are coming from places of alcohol, they will directly go to black students' room. We do not really understand what kind of an alcohol that is being drank by white students. So ours is to say that the culture that is within these residences, and we understand that to a certain level, the university cannot change someone who has been a child of a racist house that will come in Stellenbosch University within a day, then has changed, But we are saying part of those things, we are saying the university has certain policies that many white students, they have never even read. We are saying part of the welcoming program, certain policies need to be read and need to be made clear about the positions of the university to say that we do not tolerate racism within our space. And if you are found that we are part of those kind of acts within the university, you're going to face this and this and this, because the university is very relaxed, and that's why now we are starting to say to them, through the welcoming programs, we want you to change how you are conducting them. We want you to be able, all these policies that you are having, all these code of conduct that you are having, we want them to be read out very loudly to all first-year students, because one thing that we have realized is these cases are mostly done by first-year students, So we understand that there's a certain particular place where they are coming from, that they are not necessarily being told where they are when they come to university space. So we want to push the university, asking them to say that, look, we want you to change your welcoming program by implementing verbal those policies that you are having.
Yeah, it's a 184-page document, a deep one, and I'm sure it will take some time. As you put it, students are still studying their exams. We also just got a hold of it, so we haven't really got into the details of it. But at first glance, what I am seeing as part of the recommendations is, for example, an establishment of a structure called the Equality Unit, as well as the Transformation Office. How would you make those structures to actually be effective? To not just be offices, with people that hold meetings and nothing really ever comes out of it.
Yeah, I think for the first, I don't think it was intentional for the university to firstly establish the transformation office. They established that kind of a department not to give it its successful approaches within it, So part of the reason that we're going to say to the university, now, we want us as students, because one of the things that is a problem in Stellenbosch is that students are not involved in many things that are happening, You will just hear on the news that the university has established something that seeks to directly speak about the issues of students, but you don't find where is the voice of students within those things, So now, part of the things that we want to push the university to do is to make sure that the voice of students within these structures is heard, Not so long, quality unit itself, it was on a review. So clearly, if now Justice Khampepe come and still say there's a lot that needs to be done within these structures, it says to us, let's go back as students and say, what is it that whenever these people are saying they are reviewing and that is not there effective? Because many students, they do not necessarily go to quality units whenever they are facing certain difficulties, But now we want to also make it fashionable to students to say, this is a department, and we want to make sure that that department is very effective in addressing their matters.
I can imagine one of the reasons why they don't go to that unit was because of what is being raised here in terms of transparent guidelines as to what is expected procedurally, what is expected in terms of the timing perspective, from the time that I come in and I lay my complaint to the time that I actually get some kind of response and action.
Yeah, because you can send a complaint today in quality unit. They can only respond maybe mid-December or in January, So they do not fast-track their issues there. They relax too much. And this is one of the things that we've been submitting to them, that there is no way that the student is going to complain today, but will only respond 3 months later. That's wrong, So part of the things and the promise that actually even Prof. Wim has given to us is that they're going to focus on these things to say that if a student is reporting a case, or a staff member, for that matter, is reporting a case, let be the agents within it, because there's no sense of agents within the institution. So we want to push that agenda through the management itself to say that let's have a sense of agency. Whenever we are reporting cases, let me action, let that thing to be taken. Because you will remember with the case of Ubabal, it took so long, and we've been claiming to tell them that this is wrong, but they wanted to take so much it was about 3 months to say that, yes, we have found Tina guilty, you know. But we are hopeful that, because this is a report of the person that they respect themselves, so we are hopeful that through this report, they will at least listen to the voice of Justice Khampepe.
We appreciate your time, Sifiso, and thank you very much for coming on tonight here on In Focus. That is SASCO Western Cape Chairperson and Stellenbosch University student Sifiso. They're giving reaction to the Khampepe report just released. 184-page document. Of course, the university is saying it's still going through it, and by the looks of things, even the students finishing their exams would also go through it and try with a fine-tooth comb go through those recommendations there.